Florida man, you got to step up your shit. Florida man, our favorite superhero, needs to step it up because New York woman is outperforming him. Now, for the backstory on this one, we covered this story. I actually rewatched the segment today. It's on in the Drunken Under Quarantine clips on my YouTube channel. I think this one was without Collen. It was just GW, Kevin, and I. But we covered the story about Florida man who stole an ambulance from a hospital and he got stuck in the mud while approaching the water. And this guy has a great David Bowie tattoo on his face. But, the debate on that show was whether he looked more like like Sting from the early days.
Well, the good thing is when you look like this, you're really hard to identify. Like police sketch artist, I don't know, fucking lightning bolt across his head.
So this story was from April 4th, and we covered that one. But there's a new story from this week, which is great. This one. Stolen ambulance crashes into bay after lengthy police chase. See, with the last stolen ambulance, he got stuck in the mud. This person actually made it into the damn water. And the best part, a 137-mile police chase involving a stolen ambulance across New York State ended Sunday when the vehicle in a bay and the alleged thief in handcuffs, authorities say.
OJs.
Yeah, this is a quick little clip of them pulling it out of the water there. Which I don't know why I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the damn thing going in the water.
If you're gonna end up in the water, what better vehicle than to be in ambulance?
She was from Utica, New York. Now, has anybody ever been to Utica, New York?
No.
I graduated from Utica College 18 years ago. And my turkeys seem to find that amusing.
I didn't like the last track.
And so Utica, New York is Utica's.
Lost you, Dicky. You're muted.
Oh, I think you muted yourself, sir.
Oh,
Dicky's killing in the apartment.
The turkeys are going wild. Nick said, "Lol." Oh, there we go. You're back.
Yeah. Oh, I was gone.
Yeah, you were like muted there for a second.
Oh, geez, where'd I leave off?
Something about college at Utica.
Oh yeah, Utica, New York. So Utica is a forsaken dystopian landscape. It has the Distance Running Hall of Fame, which is right next to a gentleman's club. And the name escapes me, but one New Year's Eve, some 20 years ago, a dear friend of mine and I visited that gentleman's club on a New Year's Eve, and he got a lap dance from a young woman named Baby with what looks like visible genital warts. So, I just want you to know that's sort of my demographic background for where the woman driving this ambulance into a lake is from. So like when I read she was from Utica, I was like, well, that's
well, it makes sense.
Yeah, this was like in the back page of like the Utica News. Like
pretty amazing story. I wish these would stop auto playing when I'm looking up. Let's see. So they say the driver, identified by Utica police as 32-year-old Vanessa Armstead of Buffalo, New York. Does that ring a bell, Dicky?
Was she that girl with the lightning bolt on her face?
I would assume
she had a lightning bolt shaved somewhere.
Dicky might recognize her by her stage name, Starlight, or something like that.
Probably.
Starlight lightning bolt.
He said swam to a private boat on the water and was taken into custody by authorities. She received medical attention at the scene. A dive team from the Monroe County Sheriff's Office was called in to help retrieve the submerged ambulance. According to state police, crews spent more than an hour pulling the vehicle out of the water. Can you imagine what that thing must have weighed when it was full of water?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm glad it wasn't a year and a half ago, right? Like, think about all the PPE that got ruined in this adventure.
You're like, you know what? Some assholes dying of COVID, and you're driving around in the fucking lake, all right?
Just ruining a whole case of masks.
You know what? Yeah.
I want to know, did she have the sirens on during the chase?
That's a very good question. Like, were people pulling over for her?
That is
She was just hauling ass down.
That's the way to do it. If you're going to put 137 miles on, it's got to be in the breakdown lane doing 90, right?
Yeah.
I think the ultimate punishment that they could give her for this is actually just giving her the bill for the ride, like all 130 miles on an ambulance.
Yeah,
that will greatly exceed any sort of fine or penalty.
I think that would fall under cruel and unusual punishment.
He's just going to get a call
from healthcare system.
Just going to get a call from the hospital billing, like, I see that you took an ambulance ride.
He said Armstead was charged with 1 felony count each of 3rd-degree burglary and 2nd-degree grand larceny. She's being held in Monroe County Jail in Rochester on a $3,500 bail, which doesn't seem like much for going on a, like, you'd think you might get charged for like reckless endangerment or some other thing, considering.
Let's just unpack just that section right there. She is more than 2 degrees away from fucking grand larcening and more than 1 degree away from direct. She stole the ambulance and drove it directly into the lake. How do you get more than 1 fucking degree from that?
Yeah, it's I'd have to. Like, it makes me want to look up the law and see how it's written, because I'm like, you would think if you intentionally stole an ambulance, like, it would be 1st-degree grand larceny, right? But
I support anybody stealing anyone who profits off of healthcare. And there's a whole other story that we're going to talk about today that gets to that. But yeah, I mean that's some Robin Hood shit. I mean, granted, somebody probably had to wait an hour while they were having a heart attack to find an ambulance. And the good news, the silver lining of that is that statistically they were probably an asshole. So fuck them.
Yeah. The investigation is ongoing and further charges may be filed. Okay, so that's good.
What could possibly be left to investigate, by the way?
We're going to get to the bottom of this. All right, we're going to find out what happened. I rest you, mark my words.
Like, you would assume there's cameras inside the ambulance, right? Like, we're at a point where you would assume that any publicly owned vehicle would have some type of camera. I mean, I know the guys that drive the trucks that deliver food for Black River and all those, like, and Cisco and PFG, they all have cameras in their trucks. And they get in trouble.
They don't want to see freebasing anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, they get in trouble for, like, even if they're parked for, like, opening their phone in the truck, they get in trouble for it. Like, you're not allowed to, like, that way they can check. They make sure they actually take their 30-minute break time for lunch and all that. But yeah, you would think that there would be.
I'm a little confused as the choice of the parking spot, right? You steal the ambulance, and then you're thinking, where am I going to park this? I know. Off this ramp, like, this is some Starsky and Hutch shit.
Yeah, right there. You're going to park it.
It looks like they launched it off a pier. This guy at the end looks like he could be holding a fucking fishing rod or whatever. He's just like, yep. That ambulance is definitely in the water.
I caught one, this big one.
Yeah.
There's the video of those guys looking for it underwater there.
Oh, there it is. There's the car that was.
It's over here, Phil.
Yeah, I found it, Phil. It's
right
the video. Fucking pier.
In the video, they say for about 100 miles, but the article says 137. No, that's like almost 150. Oh, the beautiful assistant comments in says, "I love all the farm sounds, Dicky."
Well, the wife beast went outside, and so I was able to slither back indoors. I don't anticipate being able to last that long here. I might have to make my way down to like the basement.
They'll be changing sets all the time. That's great.
Yeah, my sleeping chambers.
Or vicariously getting the tour of the whole property.
Yeah.
GPS. Nick said GPS said it was in a route. He also said better than a hearse.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. There's probably a special place in hell for people who steal hearses.
Now you tell me.
I don't know. I don't think I'm I'm one to talk about what lands you in hell by any means. I'm pretty sure magic is blasphemy as far as I know. Well, only Jesus is allowed to do that.
If my wife ever leaves me, I have a friend who's an undertaker, and I wonder if when my life...
Wait, like the Undertaker?
Oh no, he's not the Undertaker.
Oh, okay.
He's
I got excited.
Undertaker.
Like we got to have him on the show then.
But
Mark Calloway.
But he, if I ever like go on a first date again, I'm gonna do it in a hearse for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would win my heart over. I'd be like, you got a sick ride and we got a place to bang already. This is game on.
Why isn't there a show called like Pimp My Hearse?
Seriously, if I ever won like the Powerball lottery, I would buy an old antique hearse and pimp the shit out of it.
Yep.
As you should, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Give a little skull for the front of it for a hood scoop.
That'd be dope. Yeah, I would absolutely. I've always wanted one myself. There's a guy in Woodstock who drives one, and you'll see it every once in a while. But it's not like I want like a purple lights kit underneath it, you know. So like when it's parked, it like glows purple underneath. Yeah. I got dreams for the hearse.
I would turn it into the Gravedigger.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's a big old monster truck tires for it.
And Nick says down by the river.
Do you remember the Undertaker, the wrestler?
How could I forget?
Do you remember
he rolled his head to the eyes to the back of his fucking head.
It was incredible.
The manager, Paul Bearer?
Mm-hmm.
That guy. Okay, so I have another Utica story, right? Fast forward, like after I graduated, I don't know, 2 years, and I have my first job out of college. I'm a rep for like millwork and cabinet manufacturers, and I do all sorts of training stuff and everything, and I hated it. I wanted to fucking kill myself, but this is one of the reasons why. I'm doing a convention in Utica, New York. I built like a local builders convention for one of the company I work for's customers, and the guy looks just like Paul Bearer. And Paul Bearer is if you took a synthesis of all like the police sketch artists like documenting what like a pedophile looks like Paul Bearer is most likely to seduce a child, and this guy looked just like Paul Bearer. So I'm hanging out with yeah, there you go. Yeah, that guy. Now imagine instead of an urn, he's holding like, you know, some kitchen door samples or something. So I'm hanging out with I'm hanging out with a pedophile the whole weekend. And I'm at this convention in Utica, New York. There's like fucking tumbleweeds blowing through. And then I shit you not, there was a guy, I think he sold vinyl windows or something. He wasn't just a Rod Stewart impersonator. He was living his life as Rod Stewart, like physically, like that was his style. And like
he comes in with cheetah covered pants,
and the hair, it was uncanny. And I just I looked around and I was like, holy shit! Like, what choices have you made to get here? And it wasn't drug like that. It was actually like taking like a khakis and tuck your shirt in job that made me realize like, oh, that I have to get out of this. I have to escape. So yeah, anyway, I don't know how. Undertakers, Paul Bearer, Utica, New York, sort of a callback actually, and I got to throw some pedophiles in there. So
Jason says, yeah, pimp it out, GW. Mike Kelly has the red one. He works at Max Market. Yep, that's right, Nick. And Jason P. Mercier says, yes, greatest wrestler. I just learned the other day, which I didn't know, that Paul Bearer was an actual mortician, like a licensed one. And even while he was in the peak of him and Taker's WWE reign, all through the Mankind story and the Kane story and all that, he kept his licensing up to date, even though he was on the road all the time. And that one of the guys got like the betrayal urn from him because he looked him up in the database to see if he was like actually a mortician, and he was. And this younger mortician wrote him a letter, and so Paul Bearer just showed up and like, you know, thanked him for caring. Random story. Yeah, there's a lot of random wrestling knowledge in the back of my head that doesn't matter to anybody but me.
That is not true, sir.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure the Vermont Comedy Outlaws hold that pretty dear.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
I as someone who has performed in wrestling shows, I do find the knowledge endearing.
You should see GW when he's doing his wrestler announcing too. He's very handsome, and he's suit and in the ring and everything. He, I mean, you really got to see that to, you know, fully appreciate it.
Yeah, Jason says yes, creepy as hell. Yeah, I would agree, 100%. That's a good question, Nick. That's a callback to an earlier show. Speaking about wrestling, where is Pierre in the thong?
Thank you. I mean, did I not try to financially motivate that?
He has received them, and I believe he has tried them on. I don't
think
know.
He said they were even though they were huge, they are huge sizing because they're the Chinese ones that they're still like
too small.
Like we couldn't show it on the show because we get our stream pulled. So yeah, he'll have to put that up on a site or something, I guess, or we'll have to start an OnlyFans.
I want to see it on the show.
Jason said, "Send all hate mail to King Shaw Blaze." Yeah, but if we show it on the show, I'm gonna have to blur it, and it's gonna lose its like. We're gonna have to figure out how to do a just on my website or something segment where we can show it.
That is a wonderful suggestion, Jason. I love the idea of just rerouting all of our HR to King Shaw Blaze and just let him deal with it.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Complaints go to him so he can just fire back an email and be like, shut the fuck up.
N-word.
Sincerely, N-word. Sincerely, King Shaw Blaze.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, he's a comic from Burlington. He's
okay. All right.
He's an interesting guy.
Yeah, he's a good friend of the club, and
just 9 kids.
Yeah, he's a great shit. I think Mecca was on the show in season 1.
Yeah, we had him on for Black History Month.
Yeah,
the first Monday. Speaking of which, next week we'll have our first female representation on the show. It's only taken a year and a quarter, but
the beautiful assistant's been on many times.
Well, I mean, she's never been like on the show though. She makes comments here and there, but it'll be the first guest that is a female. Katniss Everqueer is next week, and that's gonna be fun as hell. I'm excited for that.
And a queer for Pride Month.
Exactly.
But so, you gotta love the Drunken Under Quarantine show. You know, always just adding to the political commentary of our time.
That's right. Yeah. We're the social commentary is through the roof.
I'm sorry, it's a social commentary. That's what it was.
I didn't mean it. Never meant to be like that. It just happens. But we're gonna move right into the next one. And speaking of, I don't even have a good segue. I was really hoping.